Okay, hello everyone. Hello YouTube land. I was about to say how are you? Woo! Okay. So, I'm wearing a bow that one of my students made for me, but it keeps slipping out. I don't think I know how to wear it properly, so we're gonna put this away until I know how to wear it properly. But it's so cute. Oh no. There we go. Woo! What was this? One of my subscribers asked me, a very lovely subscriber, asked me to talk about basically the roller coaster ride of emotions that you go through while you're in Korea. So I'm going to talk about the normal roller coaster ride that most people go through, but the average roller coaster of emotions goes something like this. You come to Korea, oh my god, everything's so new, everything's so awesome, I love it. And it's called the honeymoon phase, and it lasts about 3 months. You go through, oh I love it, oh my god, everything's so great, Korea's so awesome, how was I not here before? So after about 3 months, you hit a phase where you are really low. You might be just sad or angry a lot, or you feel like Korea is just not for you and you want to go home. You want to go to wherever you came from. Some people never want to travel again, and it's just because you're in a place that's so different from your home and you've been here for a long time. You know, 3 months is a long time. And then when you look at it and you've been here for 3 months and you have another nine months to go. Woohoo! Did the math in my head. Okay, you have 9 months to go. You can feel frustrated, and I think that gets a lot of people down, or that makes a lot of people just feel like, oh, I need to go home. And every day is just a drag, and every day you're reminded of something that happens. It seems like something happens every single day of that month. So around the 3 month mark, 3 month to the 4 month mark, for about a month, every day is just gonna be something where you're just like, want to go home. And that lasts about a month, maybe shorter, maybe longer. But after that month, you either get to a period where you're okay being here, you could see yourself staying another year, or you can see yourself staying for 1 year and being like, well, that was good. It's time to go home. I'm grateful for everything that happened here. This is a great place to be, but it's time to go home. Or you stay for another year and you're like, I could stay for another year or a couple more years, or, you know, I could do Korea. This is great. This is a great place to be. This is awesome. You could even hit your honeymoon phase again. Who knows? But that's usually the roller coaster that happens. And of course, you have your ups and downs, but that happens anywhere. So I hope that made sense. So now I'm going to tell you guys about what has happened with me and my personal roller coaster here in Korea. So basically, I used to study at Yonsei University, and I was there for about 6 weeks. And I want to say that was my honeymoon phase, because I remember just being amazed in Korea and just loving everything about it. I was making friends. I loved it here. I was like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. I can't wait to come back. When I came back, now the situation was a little different because obviously I'm in the country, and you guys know I am not a country girl. So the honeymoon phase was never really that high. For me, just because I had already been here before and I'm in the country. But I still loved it here. I still was like, you know what, maybe I can see myself staying another year here, maybe just transferring to a small city. You know, this is great. Oh my god, everything's so good. That lasted about, I want to say, a month and a half, maybe 6 or 7 weeks. Then I hit a low. And I remember thinking, oh my god, I just want to go home. Like, I'm tired. You know, this culture's so different. I'm tired. I want to go home. Different things happen and it can get to you. Yeah, and I remember just thinking, I'm tired and I want to go home. And I even had high school kids laughing at me. That's another story, but it really just made me feel down because that's never happened to me in America. Ever. Ever. So I was just really sad. And I just wanted to go home, and I was tired. And that lasted about a month. And then after that, I got to a period where I was okay being here. I was okay. Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't the best thing in my life, but it wasn't the worst thing in my life. It just kind of felt like, you know, it's okay. I can get through a year. Then I went on vacation, and it was definitely a vacation that I needed. And after my vacation, I came back, and I was a little bit chipper. Like, I was still in the phase, but on the higher phase of where I'm now, where I want to stay another year. I want to be here for a longer time period. I definitely know that I need to transfer to another city, but I want to be in Korea. I like Korea. I'm not going to tell you that I've adapted to Korean culture 100%, but I understand Korean culture as much as I think I need to, or I understand Korean culture to an extent, and I respect Korean culture, and you know, I gel with it. It's not something that bothers me. Yeah. And I feel like I could stay here another year if I do make a transfer. But nowadays, my roller coaster emotions vary week to week or day to day. Even last week was crazy. There was a day where I wanted to go home. I was just tired. I wanted to go back home. I dreamt about going back home. And then the next day, I was in my it's alright phase. Meh, whatever. Then the next day, I'm like, yeah, I love Korea. Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. I love it here. Woo, I can't wait to stay another year. And that was just like within 3 days. So yes, you know, your emotions can change so much here. So crazy. It really is like a roller coaster. Even this week, I remember Monday, I was just like, ugh. Not enough that I wanted to go home, but enough I was just tired. I was so tired. And I was like, something needs to change, something needs to change. Then today I'm like, it's great, it's awesome, I love it here, I love it. So, yeah, I don't know how to put it. I guess it matters the type of person you are and what you're gonna go through. Yeah. If you're very adaptive, or you just love everything about Korean culture, I'm not talking about dramas or K-pop, or, you know, I'm not talking about popular culture. I'm talking about actual Korean culture, you know, Confucianism, the food, etc. If you are good with that type of Korean culture, the actual Korean culture, then I think that you will be great here. There are people who, I guess they call themselves lifers. They stay here forever, basically. They come here, they love it, and they meet their wife or their husband, and they decide to live here forever. Right now, I see myself staying for 2 years. You never know, that could change. Obviously, things change, as I told you guys before. Last week, there was a day where I was ready to go home, and then 2 days later, I'm loving it, and I can never see myself going home, so you never know. But most people stay here for about a year or two. Definitely less than 5 years. Most people. And yeah. So it's definitely a roller. Oh, and then some people they are called runners. They come here not really researching how the culture is going to be different. They're not ready for it. And they come here and they stay maybe a month, maybe 2 months, etc. Definitely less than a year. And then they just run. They go back home because they can't take it. So you definitely need to know what type of person you are, and how you can get along in a different culture. But I will say most people make it through the year. Obviously, they keep hiring us. So most people make it through their contract. And I definitely think that this is an amazing experience. You're going to love it here. You will go through your rough points. You will go through times where you are ready to go home. I've definitely had a couple of nights where I was crying, but I definitely had more than a couple of nights where I was like, this is amazing, this is great, I love it here. So yeah, basically it's a roller coaster, and you just got to be ready for it. And just know, when you hit that point where you're ready to go home and you're crying and you don't know how you're gonna do it, there's that saying, there's greener pastures, there's light at the end of the tunnel, you know? something's gonna happen to bring your day or your week up, and it will get better, I promise. It's not always gonna be that terrible. Most people. It's not always gonna be that bad, and you will feel better and you'll get through it. And for those of you who have gone past your honeymoon phase and you're like, hey, you know what I mean? It will get better. It will, I promise. You'll go back to your honeymoon phase, or you'll just get to a point where it's just like when you're in America, you know, or New Zealand or England or wherever you're from, where not every day's rosy, but you get through it. It's life, you know. You love some days are not so good, but it's life, and you're okay living there, and you feel comfortable. Maybe not as comfortable as you would in your the country where you're from, but you feel comfortable. So I know I never really write down things or think about what I'm going to say before I say it. I kind of just cut on the camera. I swear I'm going to start calling these ramblings because I ramble and then I have to edit forever. So yeah, this is a completely rambled video and I'm sorry guys. But I hope I explained it well. If you guys want me to talk about anything, or if you have a quick question, you can comment below and I'll answer it, or you can message me, and I'll talk to you guys later. Yeah, so bye.